wonderful speaker. He's very candid and open, but mostly it's his message.
We are talking about this mechanical model and how the mechanical model's inability to impact people is so significant. Well, Albert Einstein talked about it a long time ago. He said it like this. He said, everything that can be counted doesn't necessarily count.
He's speaking from years and years of working in human resources and in companies that have been in the mechanical mode and need to move to a whole new level.
And everything that counts cannot necessarily be counted. You can see that when you start to make an approach to do something, to create an initiative which might increase the productivity of the workplace. We get into a situation where we're looking at line items on a financial statement. Those are things which can be counted. You understand what I'm talking about? When you start to do an HR-related initiative, something that might increase a person's ability to produce, to be creative, to bring something to the company that would create a lasting competitive advantage, those things we say are soft, they cannot be counted. But you know what? Those are the things that count.
The economy that we live in today and the way businesses are trying to survive, I think if we don't start thinking along the lines of what CJ is talking about, it may be difficult to survive.
There are two schools of thought about learning for an individual, two schools about developing your talents within an organization. And one of them says that you can basically teach anyone to do anything, and that their area of greatest growth lies in an area of weakness. There's another entirely different school that says that people are born and gifted with certain unique abilities and certain unique opportunities to do things that would make a real difference if they'd only do those, and their area of greatest growth potential lies in their area of strength.
From the passion that he showed on stage, I think he speaks from the heart, and I think that his message transcends audiences regardless of your position, who you are, and what group you feel like you belong to.
What if you had a football team? And that football team has 11 guys on the field at any given time, and only 2 of the 11 knew which end zone was theirs, and only 2 really cared. And what if only 2 people knew what their real job was or how to contribute based on this, whatever they were supposed to be doing? What if that? What if only 3 believed the coach's calls were important? And what if only 3 were actually committed to finishing the game? What would you see? What would happen? What would that be like? Do you think you'd have a winning football program? Obviously not. Now, what's interesting is that very set of percentages, the same kinds of 2 out of 11, 3 out of 11, 2 out of 11, 3 out of 11, are exactly the same kinds of things that happen in our workforce.
So what CJ's putting out there is an alternative. And definitely when you're talking about people, that's your best resource anyway. So that's what you need to be investing in and learning about. And CJ has something to educate everybody on that level.
You know, there's a mystical ability on both sides of every single transaction for there to be value created. If I buy something, I give less than I think I gained. When I sell something, I give less than I think I gained. When I receive from you, the reality is I got more than I gave you and you got more than you gave me. And that's mystical because somehow the reality is the same amount of stuff is there, but when the perception of value is what it is. When I realize I got more, then I can add the 2 together and we have a higher valued proposition than we had before. The problem we have, though, in the mechanical model is everybody's so focused on creating value for themselves and not giving a rip about creating value for somebody else.
And CJ spoke to our group, I guess you could say you could hear a pin drop in the room. You know, he was speaking on topics that a lot of people think about but don't know how to verbalize or put into word, or certainly not put into action in the business workplace today.
It's not just about how much money my customer can give me, but what if I had a relationship with my customer where he actually impacted my company by bringing me more leads, or maybe bringing me greater referrals, or maybe talking about me in such a way that expanded the view of what I did across the world and caused me not to have to spend so much money marketing. And how about those employees? You always think, how can I get as much as I can with as little of investment? And somehow we expect our employee to give us back more than what we give them? Why would they? If they think you're only concerned for yourself, then you won't be able to get back more than what you gave them. But guess what? If the employee starts to believe that you care more for him than you even do for yourself, then he will want to give more than he's ever given before.
If you're considering having CJ come speak with your organization, I would highly recommend him. He keeps your people involved. He keeps the momentum going. He's fast-paced. He's enjoyable.
I was the leading producing salesman for a Fortune 500 company. So much profitability that they named the profitability award after me, doing it part-time for over 10 years. One of the strengths I had was the ability to communicate, the ability to sit across the table from somebody and just discuss. And that strength leveraged into huge dollars for them. Okay? So why do I enjoy doing this? Because I think it's the thing that's easiest for me to do, because I think it's the thing that I do best. It's the thing for which I can get the greatest leverage with the least amount of effort, with the greatest return possible for me and the people that hear.
So if you want to hire someone that is riveting, funny, sincere, has some things to say that you probably haven't heard before, hire CJ. He's captivating, I guess is the only word I can think of. And with a message to walk away with that is valid and useful.